YouTube, good morning, Captain Paul here, and today I'm in beautiful Costa Rica with family, and today I want to talk quickly about the trip and what happened, because this trip basically came down to, there was times when I thought that we put our lives on the line, like we're going to do this trip no matter what, and there was one time, there was actually twice that me and Pete talked about, we're going to put our lives on the line here. And we actually went out thinking this could be it. And the reason that happened was when I went to Nassau originally to pick this boat up, I had nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing to do with the purchase of this boat, but I was called and I was asked to pick it up at Nassau, and I did. When I got it back over to the Florida Keys, the boat was, we figured out, was in very rough shape. And so then we started the process of the rebuild. I actually just went away and then I would manage it kind of from away from the boat, not actually sitting on the boat, which was kind of a mistake in the end. I should have put more time, and this is my opinion, in the actual management of the boat and as it was being put together, because what happened was, and maybe it wouldn't, we needed all these teams to come together, put the yacht, do their thing to the yacht, but then I think it took that personal touch of actually getting in there and spending the 2 weeks, making all the systems work, and then going out, doing those field tests, which was actually a total of about 4 big ones, but the big one, when we almost lost the yacht, and it almost sank to the bottom, was the one that it got real. And I think me and Pete looked at each other and we just said, you know, this is it. This is the one. And what we meant by that to each other is this could be the one that it's our coffin, basically. That's what we said to each other. And why are we doing this? I think the real reason it was the challenge. And it was, if this is where the Lord Jesus Christ is going to take me, this is where he's going to take me. But knowing that, we did everything in our power to get this yacht ready to do this 6,000-mile journey, which was leaving Marathon, Florida. We drove the boat over to Key West, and then from there we drove 7 days and 6 nights over to the Panama Canal. We get through the Panama Canal, and then we head back down over to the US, all the way down the Mexican Riviera, Cabo San Lucas, Chapos, Papagayo. The first stop was Papagayo, beautiful, that was Costa Rica. Next one was Chapos, where we had to check into Mexico. And then after that was Cabo San Lucas, then San Diego, Catalina, Newport, and then taking it all the way to Grays Harbor. And it was a huge challenge, and it was, you know, these vintage yachts, these 40-year-old yachts, I think a lot of people think that you can just get in them and turn the key and everything's going to be fine after they spend all this money from the broker. But that's absolutely not true at all. It takes a lot of money, a lot of time, and somebody that knows what they're doing to put one of these yachts together and prep for a trip like this. So I don't think it was underestimated. Like, I think I prepared my whole life for this trip, and knowing, you know, having the mechanical skills, having the weather skills, having all the different skill levels that it takes to bring a project like this to life. It takes a lot, and you know, it's a big ask for, you know, from the owner to us actually physically being able to do it, and but we were able to get it done, you know. And did I have my doubts? Absolutely, 100%. If I would have told you this from the time I picked it up in Nassau, I would have said it was impossible. There's no way this is going to happen. But as it grew, as the project got further and further along, you know, there was more hope and more hope and more hope, and then there was a disaster, what I'll call a disaster at sea. And then after that, the real work started, because then I spent 2 weeks, and I spent 18 hours a day, sometimes even 20, just working on that yacht. And we started from the back of it and worked our way all the way to the front of it. Went through every single system, everything that every vendor did, and we just buckled down, both of us, me and Pete both. It was time to take it into our own hands. We did it, and then it was a victory. Getting the yacht over to Panama was an absolute, I mean, the emotion. As a boy, I dreamed about going through the Panama Canal, And then to be able to take a yacht, you know, especially a vintage 40-year-old Hatteras that has already been through the Panama Canal once and then taking it through its second time to take it back around and take it back home, actually, was very, very emotional. And pulling into Panama, I look back at that memory and it just blew my mind. That was 7 days and 6 nights at sea, and we had to make an oil change out there, and we had relatively no problems. And then after we made that corner, you know, that was just the shortest part of the trip, actually, too. So we still had, you know, 2/3 of the trip to go after that. Panama was the cheapest fuel. It was $3.31 a gallon. But the whole thing was a testament, and there's another part of the video, and that's when we got to the Pacific Ocean, because the Pacific Ocean, in my opinion, was absolutely beautiful. It was stunning, probably some of the prettiest sunsets and sunrises, but it was the wildlife, it was the whales, it was the dolphins, it was everything on the Pacific side is just like the water comes alive. But it was much more treacherous and much more dangerous than anything that I had experienced before, especially when we got further north, you know, like Point Conception there past San Francisco. Just, you know, the weather got much more tricky. It slowed us down quite a bit. And then, you know, we learned very quickly. We went through one rough patch there. And this is another video that I'm going to talk about another day, because I didn't understand, you know, what me and Pete were sitting there talking about the life preserver. And, you know, I want to really break that down of why that decision was made to go out there in those conditions without a life preserver. But that's for another video for another day. But the whole thing was a testament of two men's dreams, mine for actually making a voyage like this and figuring out how to do it, and the skill that it required to do something like that, and another man's dream of owning this yacht. And it took both of those dreams to come together to make this a reality. And, you know, it's just a true testament of the American will, the survival of everything. It took everything that I learned throughout my 62 years in life, that's the skill level it took to get that yacht around there like that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the full series of the full, you know, videos of when we first started this yacht all the way to the end, you know, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys. Remember, live life with no regrets. I do. And thank you. You know, like, I can't say thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys are leaving your comments and share it on your social media. Thank you guys.
What do you got? A big old